Quantel Lindsey podcast. I have a special guest on with us today. Man, she's a rock star, star in the making, a star right now. Laila Pruitt, how are you, Queen?
I'm doing awesome. I'm doing really well. I'm happy to see you after so
Hey,
long.
yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute. And I see you're still killing it as usual. You're still killing it. So tell me, let's dive right in. How has life been for Laila Pruitt?
Life has been, first of all, very, very grateful. Very, very happy to be where I'm at. This is literally the life that I'm living right now is literally what I've dreamed of for the past however long I've been on the earth. So, it's just really it's really exciting to be able to be living, my dream. And I'm not only doing, acting and on set and everything, but I'm also in school and, learning about the craft. So it's I'm really grateful to be here. Stressed a little bit. There's a lot going on, but good
You
problem.
stressed?
Yeah.
Stress, good problems. That's what I was telling you. You have what people call good problems, and those are the only problems to have. So, listen, I want to just jump right now for our viewers that's going to listen, for the people that's going to watch this back. Who is Laila Pruitt?
Ooh, Laila Pruitt is an extremely optimistic, yet stubborn, yet passionate, yet just full of contradictions, but lovable nonetheless. That's Laila Pruitt.
That's
All
who
human,
Laila Pruitt
all
is.
layers.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, I had some people jump in my DMs and ask me when they saw that you're going to be on the show. You got some fans out there, Laila. You got
No,
some young, yeah, you got some young guys checking. I personally had some people reach out and like tell her I'm a huge fan, and some young men want to know is Laila Pruitt dating right now? Like, what is Laila Pruitt doing?
Laila Pruitt is not dating right now.
Okay.
Laila Pruitt is in a season of singleness right now. We are definitely focusing on being a little selfish for ourselves. This is a training ground right now that I'm in, so I'm not really looking for anybody, but I appreciate it.
Good deal, good deal. Okay, Laila, we're gonna jump in. I want to jump into your acting career because so many people know you being a part of this hit show, BMF, being a part of this, but I know you've been putting in work way long before BMF. You've done some things. So tell us about your first acting gig, your first role.
My very first role was actually the first audition I ever went on. I was 5 years old, and I went in for a Haribo gummy bear commercial, and they were like, "She's so cute. Let's put her on TV." And so they did, and I was hooked ever since. It was just so cool to me that what I was doing was going to be put on TV. Like, I love TV. I loved watching TV. So I was like, I'm gonna be on TV. I couldn't believe it. And then even just watching the way that the different people on set, even though they had different jobs, everything worked together. And it was really nice to see that. It was really cool. Even at 5, I was like, wow, all these people are doing this just so that we can all be on TV. Like, it was interesting. So it hooked me right away. Um
Wow. So go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. I'm
no,
sorry.
listen, I can go I can go on for a while talking about, but yeah, like, that just started it. But the name of the game is waiting, whether you are booking consistently or not. And so the waiting that I was doing was waiting for a booking at that point. So I got that booking, booked that commercial, and it was really fun. And so I kept going on auditions, and that was the time when I sort of started to find out that it's not just at that young age, it's not just go to audition and book. It's go to audition and wait, and maybe you don't hear anything back. And so that was those were some interesting lessons to learn, but some good ones that I'm glad I learned early on. I booked a small a small featured extra role on the movie The Flight with Denzel Washington and Don Cheadle.
Okay.
And I got to be in
Wow.
the elevator with
Wow.
them. I talked with them. I was like 10 years
Wow.
old. And that was actually the first time I realized that there was a craft to this whole thing. And I because I was trying, I was there to have fun. I was like, let's do this. I'll put the face on when I get in the elevator, but between the takes, let's tell some jokes, let's have some fun. But Denzel Washington, he was cool. He was very cool playing games with me and everything. But he would like go off into the corner, when it was almost time to go on, and like go by himself. And I'd be like, why is he by himself? And my mom would be like, well, he's probably getting into character. And I was like, oh, there's like a process. Oh, so this is deeper than what I thought. This is a craft
Wow.
that you can learn how to do.
Wow.
Okay. So that was when I started to like ask myself questions when I'm watching TV. Like, well, I wonder why they want this thing. Why does this character want this thing? And how did the actor find out that their character wanted this thing? You know what I mean? Like asking those deeper questions. That was kind of what started that for me. Yeah.
Good deal. I love how you just said Denzel Washington, and you just kept going on like it was. Me and my uncle were in the elevator. Just saw Denzel. Talk to him all the time. That that is amazing. So you said you started off at 5. At 5 years old. So I mean, how many years do you have under your belt? I mean, Laila, for our viewers, I know they like you look 12. I mean, so how many years does that give you in acting?
Um, as an 18-year-old, that gives me 13. On Sunday, it'll be 14 years as an
Wow.
actor since I began as a 5-year-old in
Wow,
the Gummy Bear.
14 years already.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
but it's interesting too because yes, I have 14 years, but the majority of those 14 years are just auditioning and going to classes, which is not a just thing because I learned
Yes.
a ton, a lot. But then, I booked BMF and I was on set like almost constantly, whether I was scheduled to be there or not. I was there, just watching and talking to people. And so I'm still constantly learning and I have a ton to learn still. But it's just interesting all the things that you learn and the skill sets that you need when you're auditioning mostly, and then the skill sets that you need when you're on set mostly. It's very interesting. And now I'm balancing both. So it's pretty cool.
Good deal. Good deal. So guys, young men that jumped in my comments, my messages, she is single and she's focused on her.
Yeah.
I love what you said, little season of selfishness, just being
Yeah.
selfish.
Healthy selfishness, not too, not like my mind, but it's a season right now where I gotta be like, no, I need to go to bed early. I can't stay up with you all
Good
tonight.
deal.
I need
Good
to,
deal.
that kind of thing.
Yo, shout out to you, Layla. You said no Netflix and chill. I'm gonna be on Netflix chilling.
Right, right.
Yo,
Oh, I like that. No Netflix
I
and
love it.
chill because I'm gonna be on Netflix. That
Come
is
on, come on.
that's it.
Listen.
That's
You listen, guys. I only have one rule. If I say anything cool, just at Quantel Lindsey. Just at me. That's it.
it.
Any
Okay.
quotable. Hey, tell me about rolling into Christmas movie. Tell
Oh,
me about that. Who did you play? How did you get into that? Give us some background. We want to know who Laila Pruitt is on this hour.
I I played young Deja in the movie Rolling into Christmas, which just released this past Christmas. It was a super super fun set, and actually I was we were in the middle of filming season 2, I think, of BMF. Yes, we're in the middle of filming season 2 of BMF, while I started filming Rolling into Christmas, and it was so refreshing to go into rolling a Christmas movie, like a wholesome family movie from like a BMF story. You know what I mean? Like both are both are super amazing to play, and I'm grateful, for both. But it was very refreshing to go from like a set where like it's hard and there's serious scenes every day, and I learned so much on that set, and then I go to this set and I'm like, this is a completely different world, but it's the same technique and it's the same principles. It was very cool in that way. um the actors and the cast that I was working with were extremely talented. Everybody there was awesome. And we had a good time. It was Rolling into Christmas, a skating movie. And actually, you want to know a cool story? Like, 2 weeks before, 2, 3 weeks before I booked that role, I was on my Instagram, getting people to ask me questions on my story. And I was like, and one of the questions was, what is a role you've always wanted to play? And one of my favorite movies is Roll Bounce. You know that
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Bro,
Come
that's
on.
one of my favorite movies. And so I said, I really want to do like a roller skating movie like Roll Bounce. And
Wow.
then 3 weeks later, I get Rolling Into Christmas. It was like the Holy Spirit heard me, and He said, "I can make that happen," and that's what happened. It was awesome. It was so cool.
Come on, speak those things as if they were. Laila, question for the viewers: can you skate for real, or
Yes,
can you skate for real?
yes. I've been skating, man. I'm from Snellville, Georgia, but it's close enough to Atlanta to where I can skate something dangerous now. I can't do
Okay.
too many tricks, but I can go very fast.
I just want to know when I'm checking you out and watching the movie. I want to know, is that Laila? Is she really skating, or is the guy just good with the camera?
No,
You
it's
know.
me. It's me. It's really me skating. There was like a skate instructor on set. And so she actually took us through these like cute little couple of moves. Because there's a scene in the movie where we're supposed to be learning how to do some tricks. So she taught us how to do, this little sequence of rolling moves, and it was pretty cool.
That's super cool. So you skate for real. You have a movie that's about to release, rolling into Christmas,
It's
and you
released. It's
said,
out. It's on
"Oh, it's
BET
out."
Plus. It's out. It's out.
Okay, where can people get that from? Where can I check that out at, Layla?
BET Plus. BET Plus. You
BT
can check that out.
Plus.
If you're
BT
feeling
Plus.
Christmas.
Hey, if you're just tuning in, I have Laila Pruitt, who plays Nicole Flenory on BMF here on the Quantel Lindsey podcast. She has 14 years already under her belt. Talk about work. Talk about hashtag work hard, play hard. What does it take for that type of discipline, Layla? Like for that type of discipline, talk to me. What do you got to do? What do you have to do at that age, knowing the seriousness? You talk about craft, you talk about being on set, you drop Denzel Washington name, like you talk about working with him. Like what is your advice to someone that wants to be a Laila Pruitt? Shallow Juice, what's up? I see Shallow Juice in here in the comments. So listen, how do you tap in, get serious about your craft, and know this is something you want to do?
The word discipline I have fought with since as far back as I can remember, because you know I'm very fortunate to have found my calling at such a young age. I really, right off the bat, enjoyed acting so much that I knew it was what I
Wow.
wanted to do. However, I did not know the amount of discipline that had to come with it. And so while I was still on fire for it and I was passionate about it and all of these things, I was still a kid, still, wanting to, not do my homework and watch TV after and not, study my lines and complain that it was too many scenes and too little time for audition. I would do all those things, but it was mostly my parents for those first years being like, you need to learn these lines and you need to send this in and you need to do your best on it. And through doing that, I realized the value in having discipline, and that it actually is not cute not to have discipline. And that is sort
Wow.
of where the my mindset has shifted to, is that it's much more not, I don't want to say impressive to say that I'm looking to impress people, because I'm doing this for myself because it's my passion.
Wow.
However, it is not cute for an actor to show up to an audition unprepared. It's not impressive, and there's no uh forgiveness. You have to be on your grind. You have to be prepared, 100% prepared every single time, and sometimes more, because those other girls who look like you that are going for that role will be prepared. So what are you bringing to the table that matches that and more? So that was kind of what I was going up against, and I realized that pretty quickly, and so that's why I sort of keep discipline, try to keep it at the forefront.
Wow, wow, that's amazing discipline. I live by a motto, Layla. Don't want for it more than you work for it.
Right.
Don't want for it more than you work for it. So you said discipline. This is amazing. any actors and actress out there that's young in the game, she started at 5. Have movies under her belt, is in a hit show, BMF, and we're going to get into that. But right now, and she said the word discipline.
Mm.
Coming home when you just want to relax, but you need to work on your craft. You need to go over your lines. And you said your parents. Tell us more about your parents. Who, like, you don't have to give their names, but their character. Who are they? The
Right.
discipline that you learned from them and they instilled into you, Layla.
My mom and my dad are I tell them all the time that I am so grateful for them because they really, I mean, both neither of them came from a creative background. My dad is type A all the way, which I'm type A too, but I happen to be type A creative. But he is type A, loves math, all that kind of thing all the way. My mom is a creative, but she didn't come from a creative background. So she, most of her family was in education. Most of that side of the family is education. And actually on my dad's side, they're education as well. And they're professors and things like that. So for them to have supported me wholeheartedly and encouraged me that this could be a career for me was I'm just so grateful that that they were that free thinking and that open minded, to encourage me and push me towards that. And in that pushing, they those again, they were the ones who taught me about discipline. And so there was a big, if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it now. If you're gonna if
Yeah.
we're gonna spend the money on these acting classes, you're gonna do the homework. If we're gonna, so, and I'm grateful for that too, because I'm more well rounded and hardworking because of that. They really are the building blocks of why I am the way I am, and I really owe them my success. Um,
Wow, talk about ROI. Talk about a return on your
yeah,
investments. Hey,
right.
parents out there, listen, cut that check. Get them in classes, invest in them, and
Yeah.
make sure they get discipline. I butchered someone's name, and I believe they're laughing at me right now. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, listen, shout out to your parents. Shout out to them that invested in you and they saw something. I believe if you know Layla and you see her right now and she's bubbly, she come in, she owns the room. This her personality. So for your parents to see that and tap into that is amazing. And not only encourage you in it, but they invested in it. They
Right.
invested. They said, "Hey, you can do this. We believe in you, and we believe in you so much. We're gonna pay and invest into your craft."
And I mean, to like, because it would have been easier for them to be like, no, you're not doing that. That's not a realistic career. No one in our family has ever done that. We don't know how to do that. We don't know the first thing about the entertainment industry. You're too young. Like, they could have, it would have been so easy and comfortable for them to have fallen into that, but they didn't. They chose to support me, and like talking about it. I don't understand where
That's
or
amazing.
why, but I'm so grateful that they did, because I found that was my passion at that young of an age, and I've been able to soar ever since
Wow.
because of that.
Wow, wow. The DJ on Secret Headquarters movie. Come on, talk to me about that, Layla. We're gonna get to know Laila Pruitt. We got people saying "Can't Stop the Rain." They're laughing about Lamar. They're ready to get there. But before we get there, I want to dive in to your portfolio. I'm sorry, Layla. They said "Can't Stop the Rain." That is hilarious, man. That is hilarious. Listen. Secret Headquarters movie. Tell us about that.
That was such a fun set to be on. That was the first movie that I booked, the first thing period that I booked after I booked BMF. And
Yeah.
it was very, very fun. My DJ cameo comes on towards the end. And it was like the climax of the whole movie, and I just jumped in and nobody knew who I was, but I was in that outfit behind the DJ booth, all this sea of kids in this gigantic gymnasium, and I would come back every day. And originally my character wasn't supposed to be in the movie for as long as she was in the movie. She was supposed to run out with the rest of the kids when the explosion happens. But
Wow.
they, I was just kind of vibing with the cast, and we were riffing off of each other pretty well, and the directors were like, okay, can she like, how can we let her stay in? And I was like, okay, I can say a few, lines and be here. And yes, I would most definitely stay behind this. Yes. And so they were trying to figure out, like, okay, crouch down here and then peek around here. And so it was really funny. And then I got to, have some, it was really fun. That set was super fun. And
That's super cool. Go
it was
ahead.
cool. It was that BMF, I'm always the youngest person on set, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even though I'm 18, almost 19 people, but I'm usually the youngest person on set there. But here at Secret Headquarters, I was the oldest on set the entire time. So it was just interesting. It was interesting, that little switch too was was funny. And then the comedy and the comedic actors that were on that cast was absolutely hilarious. So on, cameras rolling and cameras off, it was a great time.
Wow, that's amazing. So you play DJ on Secret Headquarters movie. Is that movie released? Is it out now?
Yes, it's on Paramount Plus. You can go and
Paramount Plus, BT Plus. The girl is on Paramount Plus, BT Plus, Stars. I mean, Laila, you're killing it out here. Come on, guys. We have Laila Pruitt on the Quantel Lindsey podcast. I'm your host, Quantel Lindsey, and we have the star, one of the stars of the BMF show. Going into this next question, hey guys, we're live streaming, so any questions you want to ask Laila, young men, I'm sorry, she's single and focused, but anything other than that, jump in the chat. If you want to ask Laila a question, this is your moment right here. Laila, how do you balance an education and entertainment? Talk to me.
That's one that I'm still figuring out. And I won't like sit here and act like I've got it all together. I mean, I had I had two classes right before this interview, and I went and or this podcast, and I rushed to get some food, and I was scarfing it down, and I came here, threw on some makeup, and turned the camera on. Like, it's really comes down to like figuring out what you can do and being honest with
Wow.
yourself about what you can do during the day. I think that in high school and middle school, I became really enamored with doing as much as I could just to prove to people that I could, and for people to be like, wow, look how much she's doing. Wow, oh my goodness. In college, at least for me, it don't work like that. It does not work like that. And you need to be focused on three things max at a time, or things will start to slip, and something's got to give. Excuse me. So I keep my calendar, my agenda on me at all times. I set many alarms, and I try to stay communicative with every party that's involved in my day-to-day schedule. So like if I have to go to set, in Atlanta to film something, but I go to school in Washington D.C., I gotta tell my teacher I have to leave right after this class, so I can't stay after and talk. I can't stay after and do extra work today. I gotta go. And then when I come back, I'm gonna miss this day, but I'll be back on this day. And so it's staying communicative and being honest with myself mostly. A lot of that discipline.
Good deal. Good deal. I love your honesty. I love the transparent. You're like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm balancing, trying to figure the balance in balancing education and entertainment. I
Yeah.
love that you didn't separate the two. I mean, let's be real. Someone with your resume, your experience, the opportunities that's coming your way, me, I'd have been the idiot, been like, what school? Like what school? Like I'm going for mine, but you didn't. You like, I'm going to do both, and you're doing both well. So I wanna shout out to you, digital hand clap to Laila Pruitt. And like, I mean, there's no way you could get me in someone's class and I'm hanging out with my man Lamar and he's singing Stop the Rain and Lil Meechy and BM, like, nah. And I'm with 50. So it'll be like, Q, go to class. I'm like, never, ever in life am I going
No
to class.
more.
Like, no more. Class is over. And not only are you doing education, tell us about life at a HBCU. Like, what is that? Like, just give us that experience.
Life is good, and I will always say it's good at the HBCU. Are you kidding me? Life is too
Okay.
good at the HBCU. Not only, I mean, okay, I always knew it was going to be a HBCU. Howard came into the picture during my senior year, though. Actually, it was going to be FAMU for quite a long time.
Okay.
But FAMU came into the picture. I went on a tour, and they have a shrine in the Fine Arts building of all their alumni, and I said, oh my, wow. So it was Howard from then on out. But and I'm glad I came here because they take it so seriously. The level of
Mm.
excellence that is just the standard, like just the bare minimum. I mean, I'll hang out with my friends in Wheatley level 3. That's my dorm. Uh in the Harriet Tubman Quadrangle, you gotta rep your dorm like it's your neighborhood. But I'll hang out with my friends, in Wheelie 3, and they're like, Layla, Layla, have you finished your work that you said you had to do earlier? And I'm like, you remembered that? And they're like, yeah, go get that done before we hang out. Like, it's awesome to be around because not only do people want themselves to succeed, but they're looking at you too. Like, what's going on? Like, your work, why is your work not done? Like, let's go. And these are supportive, comments and supportive things that your friends are making to you. And so it's really cool, the level of accountability that's here, not just from faculty and staff, but from the general student body. And that pushes me to be better. I've come here in my major is theater arts, performing arts for acting concentration, and I never have done theater classes in my life. I took a theater class in middle school, and that was it. That was literally
Mm.
it. So I've only ever done film. So when I got here, all of my peers were, they were much more experienced than me in theater, and understandable. So I actually am learning way more from them than they're learning from me at all, which I love because I mean, I came here to learn. So it's just awesome to be in that environment. Yeah. Yeah. I was kind of all over the place with that question, but
Nah, all
there's a
good,
lot
all
of
good.
things
I
to
mean,
love about a HBCU.
yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of things to love about an HBCU. You didn't have just one thing. You loved everything. I heard that you love the accountability. Now, how is school? I mean, you're not coming from work. You're coming from work, then you're going to class, but you're also leaving set, film, commercial, television, and then you're going to class. Like, um, how is that feedback being on campus? Are you a local star? Are you a campus star? Are you a national star? Do people treat you normal? Or, what is that like? Like sometimes you're just trying to get to the cafeteria, you're trying to get out, you don't want to take picture sign. What is that like?
you know, I had him in the first semester. I had him, and nobody knew who I was. There was like whispers that like a girl who knew Meech or something was here, and like it was like, okay, are you okay? But it was like, I'll walk right past you. Now, if they know the show, then it's like there's levels to it, right? So there's like a level where there's like just staring at me like this, and I'm
Mm.
thinking there's something on my face, like, um what do you need? And then there's like another level where it's like, you know who you look like? You look like that girl from BMF. And I'm like,
Wow.
I get that a lot. I'll see you later.
Wow.
And I go right on to class. But no, sometimes I tell them like, that's me. And they're like, that's you? But then the
Mm.
final level, I had I had people stop me and like just start yelling. And I'm like, what's wrong? Like, what's going on? Because people start yelling. I'm not used to them yelling about me, so they start yelling, and I'm like, what's the matter? Like, what's going on? What is happening? And they're like, you're that girl from BMF. You're Nicole. You're Terry's sister. And I'm like, that is me. Hi, that is me.
Wow.
And I forget, and I'm just walking, and that too, it ups the pressure because now I gotta wear lip gloss every day. I walk out this dorm room. I gotta be looking nice because people want to take pictures with me and put me on their live stream and stuff. But I
Wow,
love
that's
it though.
amazing. Hey, I'm like, there goes Nicole. There go Nikki. There go
Right?
Nicole. Like,
Like,
yo, that is amazing. So what is it like playing Big Meech's little sister. Like, bring us into that world. It's historic. I'm with Laila Pruitt, guys, on the Quantel Lindsey podcast, and she plays Nicole Flenory on STARZ hit show, produced by 50 Cent. BMF. Like, what is it like playing Big Meech little sister, Southwest T's little sister?
It's really fun. I'm in my dorm room right now, and they are vacuuming right outside. So if you hear that, I apologize. But
Hey, we keep it real, raw, and authentic on the Quantel Lindsey podcast. It's all good.
I'm so sorry about that. But it's fun. I actually, before I got the audition for BMF, I had no idea who they were. I was a junior in high school, and I got it, and I was like, oh, this is a real story. And so I just did all this research and found out who the people were, and who everyone was, and why they started, and where they live, and all of that. And I was like, wow. And then when I booked it, I found out that my aunties knew some of them, and I'm like, you know, like, how you know them? But just with through my research and through talking to people, and even people in my family having experiences and being at those parties and stuff, like, the world is so large of BMF, and so it's really a blessing to be able to bring to life someone's story who affected so many people in different ways. So
Wow.
I just feel grateful to be able to tell a story that's real. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
nice, it's fun.
I thought when you said the world, I thought you were gonna say the world is BMF. I was about to say, like, yo, you're really into character right now. I thought you were gonna be like, the world is BMF. And I was like, yo, Lil Meechy, for real. So I think that's amazing that you said you did the history on it, that you went done it, because this is a true story, and you're playing the role of someone, of an iconic figure. I mean, Big Meech still is larger than life. Him and his brother, the whole BMF. I remember being younger and hearing about BMF. And you're playing that role. Is there any pressure? Is there any? And by the way, you're killing it. Nicole Flenory seems like one of the little sister for real. Nobody listens to her. Nobody pays attention. They don't think she see what's going on. My man Lamar, murked your little love interest. Like, Nicole was trying to fall in love. My dude Lamar is like, ain't no love.
Ain't no love.
Ain't
None.
no love. So not only are you single in real life, Nicole is single as well by default, courtesy to my dude Lamar. So you're playing that role, and you said you did the history. Did you do any history on Nicole? Did you try to get any feedback, like who she was, and because you're telling her story as well?
Yeah, I met the real Nicole the first day that I was on the first day I was on set. I think it was the first day I was on set, and she got my mom's phone number, and because I was 16 at the time, but she got my mom's phone number, and we just stayed in contact. I asked her questions, if I have scenes where I'm like, how would you have reacted in this kind of situation? How would you have responded to this? Different things like that. I've it's been awesome, like, going back and forth and talking. If you look under my Instagram posts, you'll see, like, she comments under there, and I'll comment back. It's really cool, playing someone that's real. So you get to ask those questions that inform you about the character, and it's really, really dope.
Yeah, one thing I just want to give you on this show, we don't like to say give you your flowers when you can smell them, because for one, if we're being honest, most of those flowers stink. Um I want to give you your crown while you can wear it, Queen. And you killed. You killed. Every time I'm watching these episodes, I'm like, Laila is bodying. Like, I'm not looking at Laila Pruitt. I'm looking at Nicole Flenory, whose brothers go off to make hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars, and she's there, and she's the youngest, and you're there. You really brought her character to life, which made me want to know more about her. Which made me want to really, because you're for one, your barber, the shop, when you get your job, when Nicole gets her job, and Meech he's Meech. He finds another opportunity to make money, and you are. It seems like Nicole is trying to carve out her lane. And I'm sorry, I keep saying you just because you embody the character so much. Nicole is trying to carve out her lane and do her own thing, and Meech comes in and brings Nicole right back into being his little sister. And he comes in and he just, it seems like Meech has this personality, this larger than life personality where can he walk in a room and not own it? And that's one thing. And your character kind of gave me that input, how you embodied how annoying her big brother was, that she loves, she admires, but can I have something that's just Nicole's? Can I have something that's just Nicole's?
Something, anything. I mean, and the scene right before you see what Nicole's job looks like and you see the salon for yourself, Terry is talking to Meech and he tells him, like, Nikki got a job, and he's like, why she need a job? Her brother's got money. And Terry says, well, she probably wanted to make her own. And Meech is like, why would you want to do that? Because that's his, on the show, that's his MO. That's his goal. His objective is very clear: get that money. But Nicole is watching that objective from an outside perspective, and so she is the youngest, and so she is looking at them as older brothers, and so she is constantly criticizing their every moves. She loves them and she adores them, but she's getting older, and so she wants to carve out her own path. But her brothers continue to inject themselves into it. So I thought that was a really great arc, a really great scene, and a moment to have in the second season, because I think it was important to show. Yeah, I think that one of the only rooms that Meech can walk into and not just immediately just overtake everyone in it is when Nicole is in there, or when when Charles is in there, or when Mama is in there, Mama Phil is in there, because that's your family, and your family will be able to see through you every time. So
Yeah, your family will always remind you that you're the little brother, you're the son, you're the nephew, you're the
yeah,
cousin. One thing I do love about the characters of Meech, Terry, and Nicole, that they're all respectful to their parents, in spite of like yeah, we sell drugs, but we're gonna still pray and talk about the Lord. It's still this kingdom Christian presence in the home, and that is one thing that I mean, these your sons are rich, and the mom and dad is like working at Wendy's, and Charles is still trying to get it the honest way. It's really something that I'm like, wow. I mean, how many parents would have been like, you know what? The Bible said the wealth of the wicked is stored up for the righteous. Let me get that.
right. Let me get that. And that I think is it's such an interesting thing too to think about, because Meech and Terry grew up in that Christian household. They claimed Christianity. They claimed Christian, and so the selling drugs and what they did was a means to an end. Their objective was to get money in order to get out of the situation they were in. And so in
Yeah,
their minds, Terry said it in the first season, I think it was, when mom and pops found out that he was doing that with Meech, and that he was like, people are gonna get high anyway, so why shouldn't I come up out of it and get and profit off of it. And of course that's not a great way of thinking, but it was one that they felt necessary, and it was the only way that they saw out, because they saw
wow.
the way that their parents took, which was the route of getting it the honest way, and the only way that they
That
saw the honest way didn't work to them. And so that was the next step, and that was the path that they always saw working in terms of getting money and living the life that they wanted to. So I think it really humanizes them to see that duality.
yeah, Meech called himself the Black Pablo Escobar, and what is amazing to be those type of figures in the drug gang, and you don't see a trail of bodies, and you don't they're not attached to murder. And for the viewers, I'm not justifying selling drugs, but you see a sense of humane, you see human, you see men. And I have to credit that to the upbringing of Charles and Lucilla, like, if I'm not mistaken, and the Christian values that they were raised under. I mean, for someone to rise to the ranks and make that type of money, everyone else that we talk about in history, in the dope game, they got charged with murder and killing this person, that person. You don't see that connected to Meech and Terry. And it was like they were hustlers for real. So I believe you see two kids that tried to escape poverty and
Yeah.
did it well. And that's one thing about poverty, is because you can run, sometimes we run into poverty and we continue generational curses just trying to get out of poverty, just
Right.
trying to make something from nothing. So being on set with Little Meech, and that's he's bringing his dad's story. He's telling his dad's story. What is that like? And now you're playing Nicole Flenory, you're killing it. But this guy's not only playing Demetrius Flenory Senior, and he has a way that I'm Little Meech, and I'm trying to carry out this legacy and tell my dad's story in an authentic way.
Excuse me. Um, yeah, he's very serious about it. I remember meeting him. And actually the first time I met him, it was over Zoom because I think he was still in California or Florida, at his acting classes where he was learning about acting, and he had been acting for I think about 3 years in those classes before even stepping onto the set of BMF. So he cares very very deeply about telling his dad's story. If you talk to him about it, you can see it behind his eyes. He'll light up
Wow.
that. You see it all over his Instagram story and his page and everything. He loves he loves the story and he loves acting. So I think it's awesome to see. I always love seeing people figuring out their passions. Um and I think too it's interesting because if you watch the documentary, you find out that and even the show, you find out that Charles loved music, and he
Yeah.
and that's Meech's grandfather. He loved music, and then Big Meech loved music as well, and then he founded BMF, the recording company. And so now Lil Meech is in the entertainment industry too with his acting. I think it's just really cool that he's literally living out his ancestors' wildest dreams right now. That
Yeah.
is something I think about a ton because it's awesome to watch him on set, in that.
Well, yeah, that's amazing. That he will literally get the fruits of his father's labor without a hefty sentence and going through that. And as a father, I know his father, Big Meech, got to be proud that regardless of what the millions of lives that were wrecked and changed, and we have our own opinions about that, but to be able to say my son benefits legally
Yeah.
now, he gets to advance off my mistake. And as a parent, you and as people that just love other people, you always want someone to jump over a hurdle that trips you. So that is amazing. Now, have you met what Southwest T? Have you met Terry? Has Terry ever been on set?
Yeah, so we were filming up in Detroit at their real house, at their real house. And so Terry, Southwest T, he was on set for I think every day when we were filming the party scenes for the end of season 2 and the end of season 1. There was some party scenes, and so he was there. He was there on those days. We took some pictures. He's awesome. He's just as excited about about the show and about how people are responding to it as Lil Meech and Big Meech. And it's really nice to see and meet the people that you're portraying the lives of. It's cool, and it really was a family environment. Like it was, I
Wow.
mean, they he was there, Southwest T was there, and his sons and nephews and all of that. So it was very it was really a lot like a family environment.
Wow. Now, Layla, has this been your hardest role? Has this been your most intense role because this is a true story, opposed to someone this is real, this happened, and you're trying to tell a story that's still being told. I mean, Terry, Nicole, and Meech are still here. So was this your most difficult, most challenging role?
I think it meant a lot. It just meant a lot more than other roles that I've auditioned for, that I've played, because number one, these people are real. They really live these lives. They really, the things that you see in the documentary and some in the show really happen, and these people are real. And so to depict these real stories, it's like the epitome of what acting is about. And so it was it was like a responsibility. It was like a greater responsibility. Of course, you're always telling someone's story, even when the character is fictional, but it was a greater responsibility. But in terms of the acting, I just approached it like any other. I kept myself calm. I know these people are live watching me depict them, but I'm gonna stay calm and address it like any other, because he's got me, and so I'll be good. That's just kind of how I
Nice.
did it. But yeah, it's been fun, really. Above all else, the set is so comfortable to be on, and encouraging. The directors will let you play around with how you think the script or the scene should go. I learn a lot. We bounce ideas off each other. The cast members, Mr. Russell Hornsby, who plays my dad on the show, he gives
Well,
such amazing advice. Miss Nicole
yeah,
White,
yeah.
they're all.
Yeah, the guy that played Charles is a monster. I mean, guys, this is Laila Pruitt on the Quantel Lindsey podcast. Denzel Washington, Big Meech, the Lala. I mean, the people that you have worked with and you are working with. Da Vinci. I mean, he's killing it. He's killing Terry, man. He's calm, he's cool, he's collective, he's real chill. How is it working with him?
It's excuse me. It's awesome. He really does act like my big brother. Him and Lil Meech both act like my actual big brother. Um so I kind of look at him in that light, but of course when I see, that he's on a Broadway production, doing something on Broadway, and then he's in an interview for this, and then he's, doing this, like I'm proud of him. I'm just
Wow.
super proud, because I've watched him grow. I've watched him since Grownish, since All American, and now to have met him and be working alongside him, I've learned just as much from him as well. You know, I'm proud of him too. It's awesome.
That's amazing. He bodies and he's killing, and you're killing, and it seems like Meech, this is his first acting role, and I mean you wouldn't know. So I love the fact that you said he was in acting classes, and you talked about your craft, you talked about discipline, you talking about getting serious. And would you say, now I know you said you started at 5, but when did you discover your passion for acting in TV and films? Like, when did it click? Like, if it was at 5, then we'll skip on because I already asked you. But when did it say, this is it? This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do.
I hate to say 5, but 5. It
It's
clicked like
5.
it. And I'll say there was multiple clicks. There was that first initial click on the set of that gummy bear commercial, where I was like, this is great. I'm about to be on TV. This is great. I love this. And then, at 10, there was another click where I was like, oh, this is deeper than I thought. Hold on, let me get into this. And then there was another click when I went into an intermediate acting class, and I was like, wow, like this is so dope. And doing the work, actually doing the work around people who were my age, that were also doing the work and just as excited about it as me. Now I've got community. That's another click. And so now I'm, clicking. And uh even making it so far towards booking something, like I've gotten 3 callbacks for this and a producer session, and then they just rejected me. That's another
Wow.
click too, because I continued on. And
Wow.
that those are frustrating times, but that's also when it reassures you again, because you really got to sit back and think, is this worth it? Because that really hurt me. That really hurt me as a
Wow.
kid, going after these things, and I'm making it so far, and you're making me think, you're giving me compliments, and I'm thinking like I got this in the bag, and then it's just, sorry, next time maybe. And you're like, dang, like,
Mm.
is it worth it? But that's another click, because then you realize, or you don't, that is worth it, and you keep going. That was what it was for me. So it was that first initial click on that gummy bear set, and then many reminders in the future.
Good. How was it? How is it working with 50 Cent? I mean, we see 50 from I mean, so far away, social media, trolling, produce. I mean, 50's in his bag right now. I mean, can 50 even miss with these shows? We see 50 like just living in 50 land. Like he has show after show, hit after hit, and you are part of that catalog. What is it like to be on set with 50? How was it when you first met him? Who is 50 the director?
50's awesome. Like, he's really cool. He's very calm. Whenever
Mm.
whenever I was around him and he was directing my scenes, he's very calm and soft spoken, and he'd be like, what do you think, about this? And one thing that I'll tell people, and they never believe me, they think I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. I never see this man walk. I've never seen him walk anywhere. He just appears. I never see him. I swear to you, I
You said he
when
just appears?
he just appears. The first time I met him, it was for the scene in the first season where where Darius just got killed, Lamar just stabbed him, and and I'm in the interrogation room at the police station, and I'm facing the door. My chair is facing the door, and it's between a take, and everyone, is talking and stuff. I'm trying to stay in character, so, da da da. He appears right behind my head. I did not see him walk in. He appears right behind my head, and he's like, so that was good, right? But this time we're gonna do, he's whispering, and I'm like, oh, okay. Right. I'm trying to stay professional. I'm like, okay, okay. I'm like, how did you get how did you get beside me? Did not see you walk in. So
Wow.
that was funny. But yeah, he's really cool. He knows what he's talking about. Obviously. And so it's a treat to work with him. That day that I first met him, it was a really, really serious scene, but it was fun. It was fun working with him, because he just, after a while, he just let me go and just let me play with it. And as an actor, that's always what you want. That's
That's it.
always, we love that.
Wow, that's amazing. And I love that you said you never see him walk, he just appears. So 50 just out here floating around, huh? He just
Right. I'm like, how did you get here? I did not see you come in. I don't know.
understand. That is crazy, Layla. I'm going to ask you, that's amazing. So 50 has so many shows, and it looks like the chemistry and you fit right into what 50 is trying to do. And I'm just excited to see you kill just from someone that's literally sitting and watching this show. You and everything you do, you hold your own. You're growing and you continue to grow as an actress. I wanted to go down and let people know that I wasn't just talking to a young girl 50 saw and threw in a scene. I'm talking to someone that has 14 years under her belt, has man, it's crazy names that she's worked with, that you said discipline, how you invested in your craft, have you put in the work, and not only that, you continue to put in the work. You're in school right now. Um, Films, you're all in, you're all invested. What are you majoring in?
I am. I'll do my Howard intro. Hi, my name is Laila Pruitt. I am a freshman acting major from Snellville, Georgia. And yeah, I'm a freshman acting major. So it's very much it's very interesting, this whole theater thing. They recently, my class, the class of 2026, we're the first year where there's been no COVID interruptions, like no sort
Wow.
of COVID protocols. We don't have to wear masks anymore. We don't have to, you know go on Zoom really for any reason unless the teacher just wants to. So that's been really we've been very lucky with that, because I mean, we'll talk to the sophomores and the juniors and even the seniors, and they're like, yeah, we didn't have a sophomore year, we didn't have a junior year, and I'm like, dang, I'm so sorry, like that sucks, but we are the first year back with all of our classes, and it's awesome. So we're in there and making things happen. It's awesome.
Laila Pruitt, guys, on the Quantel Lindsey podcast. She is played Nicole Flenory on the hit show BMF on STARZ, HBCU, 14 years. I got to keep saying that because I know we live in a get it tomorrow generation, and the girl talks about discipline, investing, and going away from wanting to hang and play and put in that work. And she just talked about working with 50 Cent. I'm going to tell you from researching and looking at the show, Lamar is like a silent star of the show. I
No,
about called you Nicole.
silent, not silent, singing his lungs out.
Man.
Is like the star you didn't know you needed, the star that you hate but you love to hate him.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Yes.
But he's the nicest guy ever. He is the nicest guy ever, and he's British. Isn't that crazy? He's British.
Wow, he's British. Hey, listen,
Is
we
every
getting exclusives. We getting exclusives right now on the Quantel Lindsey podcast. You said that he's the nicest guy. I don't know if it's just me, but I've kind of grown to like his character. I'm kind of glad that he's like the villain that won't die. Am I messed up with? Am I bad for that? But
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that's actually a really good compliment to an actor, because they, you know, how actors are always like, oh, well, I don't think you can judge them like this hard, because even though they're like the nastiest character ever, but if the
yeah,
actor can help bring to life a villain in such a humane way that the audience is like, dang, like I feel what he's saying though, then that's a great thing, because any human is not all good or all bad. You know what I mean? There was
yeah, wow,
went into the game. There was reasons that Lamar
wow,
did everything that he did, which he shouldn't
wow,
have done, but he did, and there was reasons for it. And
wow.
showed them, and that was I love Lamar's arc so much in the show.
That is so good. What you just said is two sides, because when you look at Lamar, you start to go into his character. He's a guy that was abandoned, moved around, didn't know how to love, didn't have a father, and he wants to be a father.
Right. He wants
He
so desperately to be a family man. And if you watch, that's the only thing he's going after. Like, first season he does want his territory back, but it's to get the money to pay for his daughter,
his dog, yeah,
Monique. So
yeah,
like everyone has a reason to justify the actions that they make. And I think that that's
yeah.
really good. And I like that they portray that on BMF, because it's uniquely
Say
human.
that part again, Layla. Say that part. I'm sorry, I missed it.
My lord. What did I say? I don't even remember.
You had cut out. I don't know if I missed it. I just don't want the viewers to miss it. You said you like that they portray something on BMF.
Yes, they portray that so well on BMF, the humanity of it, where they it's just it every human has a reason that they do the actions that they do. So
Wow.
every has a reason for doing everything that they do, and you know, whether or not it's justified to you, it's justified to them because they did it. So that, I think, is what makes a character and a human uniquely human. And so I think when an actor can bring that to a character and the audience can see that, it's that much better. It's
Wow.
awesome.
So Layla, you got shot at their real house?
Yes, we got to visit their real house. That was you know, the first episode in season 1, and it's like 2005, and
Yeah.
Big Meech comes back, and it's a big block party on his return. That's their real street. That's their real house. That's
Wow.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow.
And
You
like their friends come in, and some family members, like it was cool. It was really cool.
wow. Wow. Understanding the history of the BMF, of the Black Mafia family, of Big Meech and his family. Like you said, it's 50 did a great show. You guys did a amazing job, not just making this about selling drugs.
Right.
Like it,
Yeah.
it, it shows you poverty. It show you people trying to get out of poverty. It show people making bad choices. It show people having options. I mean, Terry and Meech have parents that are home married that loves the Lord.
Yep.
And and then you have Lamar who's like this hopeless romantic. Like he's like he's like this goon thug that just wants to be a soccer dad, and he's like a great dad, but he can turn monster right now, and people love him
Yeah.
singing and doing that. And his father and his mother, man, they give so much hope, and they just show you that parents, despite being flawed, that they were raised with love, and they were brought up with kingdom principles. So shout out to their parents and shout out to that. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions, Layla, before we wrap up. Who is your favorite actor slash actress?
Why would you ask me a question like that?
We want to know. These are questions that were submitted, Layla. This is stuff that was submitted. Your fans, your following, people want to know.
It it changes so much that it's almost not even worth me saying anybody, because tomorrow it'll be somebody completely different.
That's fair.
I will say that I really love an actor or an actress that can play completely different roles. Like, I feel like that is a mark of a true actor, because not only have you mastered a person who comes from this life, but you mastered a person who comes from this life, and you can play a person who comes from this life really believably. Like, all of these different kind of people, the versatility is what I really admire in an actor. So people that I believe embody that are, of course, Viola Davis. We have a good Lakeith Stanfield is one of my favorites. RJ Seiler, I love him. RJ, if you're watching, hello.
Hold
um
on, you're single and focused. What about
right,
single and focused?
right, yes. Um and, uh, um Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors just killed Creed. And then Michael B. Jordan came out with Creed, his directorial debut, and he acted in it. I walked out of that movie theater so impressed that I was mad almost. I
Wow.
was just like, wow, how can you how do you get that good? Like, oh my goodness. That is what I want. Like, that's the level that, anyway, I'll be talking about that all day. But Jonathan Majors, who else do I love? Niecy Nash, she is so talented. I'll stop there because you only asked for one.
Good. That's good. I love it. Bringing Laila Pruitt is talking about her favorite actor and actresses, and I love what you said because I'm the person that's like, yo, who's your favorite? Well, today I just got through watching BMF, so I'm on like Laila Pruitt right now. She's killing it. She's owning the room. And shout out to you. Nobody did, but you never had a weak scene. To be like this, like every scene, you were strong, you were locked in, and you killed. You just embodied the little sister role and the little sibling role, because I'm a little sibling. I'm like, yo, I get it. Nobody listens to you,
Nobody
and they don't.
Nobody listens to a sibling. I appreciate that so much, because I will walk away. I mean, we all have days where we're like, I could have did better. So I walk away sometimes and be like, well, next time I'll do better. But I really appreciate you saying that, because that makes me feel really good. That
Yo,
makes me
you did your emotional scene when and bless Nicole's heart. Little boyfriend was a little corny. I think Lamar was trying to do her like a little favor. Like, you don't want to end up with this guy.
he was doing his best. They were love.
Listen, true story. I really felt like Nicole was going after that guy because he was total opposite of her brothers.
You know what? It's so interesting that you say that, because while we were shooting that, I was, talking to the real Nicole, and she was saying, we were talking about, like, so did you have a lot of boyfriends, or who did you look for in a boy? You know what I mean? And she was like, well, I saw, the example of my brothers. And I said, well, that might not be the road for me. And so she wanted someone that was more reserved and like a little quieter and, book smart and, stuff like that. Cause it was different than her brothers. And, on that note, but also on just I'm the little sister and I don't want to, I don't want anything to do with my brothers kind of feel.
Yeah, wow. Look at me being a movie buff, a TV
Right.
buff. Come on in here, somebody.
It's good.
Hey, listen, 50, if you need a pastor, holler at me. The Reverend, my man Snoop is the pastor. Snoop has one of the funniest scenes on earth. Snoop puts his hand on Mrs. Flenory and says, "Sister, I'm here for you." And when he sees that she's not going, my man Snoop tells the guy, "Take that back and split that down the middle."
Let me tell you about somebody that's so funny. Snoop Dogg is so funny. On and offset, he is so hilarious. Like, just I can't even like quote anything that he's said that just made us laugh, but it's just like little things that he'll just be like, and we'll be like, what are you talking about? Like, just hilarious. But that was very fun. He said you could take this
Yeah,
thing and split it right down the. I said,
split it.
my
Yo,
lord,
split it.
he gave the
Yo,
bill.
I was he gave the bill back. Man, this is one thing that maybe I got sensitive about in the scene. And when I run into Fifth, I'm gonna tell Fifth he didn't have to do the fellow pastor like that. Snoop puts the money up and says, "I ain't got number $5 on me." I, I was like, "What the stereotypical pastor?"
I said, dang, Pastor Shifty is at it again. He's at it again.
Yo, pastor, yo, the Reverend was crazy, man. Charles got his eyes on the Reverend. I don't know why, but
You know why he got his eyes on
I
Charles,
don't know why.
Charles Flannery can see through it. Tell you
Yeah,
something.
he can. Charles Flenory, that he's one of the guy that plays him is a great actor. We stumbled. Man, he plays in so many things. That was Get Rich or Die Trying, Lincoln Heights. I mean, he's grand, man. So
All
go
that.
ahead.
I was just saying fences. Like he's in everything. I'll always go hard for Mr. Russell Horns because he's taught me a lot, and I'm still learning from him. And he actually was the one that convinced me to take theater instead of TV and film at Howard, because I was
Wow.
I was gonna do that so I could learn about directing. But he was like, you should think about theater, minoring or even majoring in theater because it'll really help deepen your level of understanding of the craft. And I was like, okay. And then he was right.
Wow. Wow. Um, you break. So you wanted to do. He wanted you to do theater, and you want to do television and films. And for people that's listening that don't, it's all acting. Will you break down one more time why? Why did he direct you to theater, not film and television?
Right. So TV and film is where that's where my sort of basis is in terms of what I know about acting right now. I started off in TV and film classes. The camera, and they'll tell you this in every film class, the camera will capture every single muscle movement, spasm in your face that will tell you how you're feeling. So the acting doesn't have to be as big. But when you're in a theater and you have to make sure that the people all the way in the back of the house, in the back of the auditorium, get their money's worth for that ticket, well, you have to be big, and your mannerisms and physicality and emotions, you literally have to spend all of them every time you go out there, and there's no stopping in theater. Also, there's no like cut action. It's you're the character the whole time. So it's like the difference between a sprint and a marathon, maybe, because in theater,
Wow.
during a theater production, you are giving 110% the entire time. You don't stop. But during on the set, it's a whole different journey because you have the luxury to sit down and be like, okay, in your trailer, like, okay, this scene and this scene and this scene, and now I can look at these sides, and okay, let me talk to my my scene partner about how we feel is the best way to do this on the day. You don't have to do a whole rehearsal in the beginning and weeks of rehearsal. You can just talk on the day because there's time to cut in between. It's interesting the little differences that there are.
Wow, that's amazing. So, if you could work with anyone in the industry, who?
Anyone that I said during the who's my favorite actor actress part, all of them. I really would like to work with. I would like to. I would like to work with Ava DuVernay. I would love to work with her. Michael B. Jordan, of course. Idris Elba. I would love to work alongside him. Um, Jesse Eisenberg. I love him so much. Jesse Eisenberg, he was in Zombieland. He was Mark Zuckerberg in The Social Network. I love him so much. He's a very versatile actor as well. I would love to work alongside him. Uh, who else? Jarrell Jerome. He's
Mm,
amazing. I could again go on for days. I want to work with everybody. That's my answer. I would like to work with everyone because
good deal. What is next for Laila Pruitt?
ooh, um, again, I mean, I'm just in a season of training right now. I'm just working on the craft. I'm in a place of going deeper. So I'm, working on that, talking to people about that, communicating. I'm writing my own scripts still. So
Wow.
yeah, working on that and perfecting that. And then I'm about to pick up the camera and continue on with making my own stuff as well. So we'll see if
Wow.
y'all.
So, actress, writer, director. So, do you have a vision of a dream one day, writing, creating, maybe having Laila Pruitt Studios, maybe
Ooh,
something like that.
oh my goodness, that would be cool. That would be
Wow.
awesome. That would be really cool. Yeah. Um,
That
paying the bills, being able to consistently pay the bills, doing writing, directing, or acting, and or that's
that's
for me.
that's amazing. That's amazing. Layla, greatest film of all time. Your favorite film.
Stop doing that. Stop.
Give me five then. Give me five. I want the
Uh,
people to know this. These are the questions that people submitted. These people want to know Layla Pruitt. They want to know your top films, your top actors.
See, because when you ask me a question like that, all the movies I've ever seen just fly out of my mind, and I can't think of.
Yes.
Roll Bounce has to be in there because it's too good. I don't know why I love that movie so much, but I love that movie so much. I think that. Why did you ask me this question? Uh, I think Do the Right Thing would be on my list. I love that movie.
Wow.
Spike Lee, another person I would love to work with one day. Um,
Wow.
Do the Right Thing, Romance. Um, I I wrote down a list of my favorite movies, and I don't want to leave
Go ahead. No,
live
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead. We want to know your favorite movies. Go ahead.
the live stream, but let me look at my notes really quickly and
She
see.
left the live stream, y'all. Listen, this is the Quantel Lindsey podcast with Laila Pruitt from the hit show BMF on Stars, executive produced by 50 Cent. Listen, if you have any more questions, drop them in the live chat. It's been amazing. This girl she's 18, 14 years, going on 14 years of working. She's a writer, she's a director, she's a student at a HBCU. She gave us her top five, and Layla, you just light up the room as usual. Like when you come in, you just own the room. You're killing the show. I'm super excited to see you when you get your Oscar and all the Emmy and all that stuff. You're like a little Viola in the making right now.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I got the rest of my five if you want to hear
Come on, I
them. Okay.
want to hear.
Okay. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I feel like
Classic, classic, classic.
directing wise, I don't even just the storytelling wise, that is a darn near perfect film, in my opinion. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Real Bounce, Judas and the Black Messiah, um, um, Queen and Slim, and Do.
Mm, mm.
Those are my five that I'll say for right now. But again, tomorrow could be completely different because
It could change.
three,
So
four.
what grabs you? What grabs you, Layla, from a movie? Is it the story alone? Is it the cinematography? Is it the acting? Like, to me, the story has to be fire. The story has to be fire. The acting needs to be good, and I need good cinematography. I need the lens. I need it shot well. Like, I can disconnect from film and television if one of those three things are not there. What is it from you? What is it that grabs Laila Pruitt? Like when you see a script, like what gets you to say yes, I like this, so I'm gonna go out for this role. Like so answer what gets you. Is it cinematography, lenses, storyline, actors, actresses, and then what? How do I get a script to Laila and I know it's something for her?
The thing that sets a movie apart to me is the ability to juggle all of those. Because usually if a movie's getting made, it's got a really good um uh it's able to pull off one of those at least very effectively. Like it's got great actors, but maybe the story's lacking a little bit, or it's got a great story but like the lighting is like really low and it's like I can't even see or hear what they're doing. But if the production was able to balance each and every one of those, because the story is the skeleton. If you don't have the story, then it's like the actors could be amazing, but what, like, why am I watching it? Because there's no, what am I waiting to see happen, right? But if the lights are amazing and you could hear them perfectly, but the actors are standing there like this and their face hasn't moved for the past, three scenes, you're like, what? Like, I don't want to watch the rest of this. This is not believable, and people run to film and TV because they want to watch their own lives happen in front of them in a realistic way, in my opinion.
Mm,
So, all three of those things are important. All of the aspects are important. So if they can juggle each of those, that is what sets it apart to me. I feel like those are things that pretty much each movie that I named in my top five, those all have to me for the genre. Yeah.
wow. Now, how what draws you into a script? You're reading a script and you're like, oh man, this is it. This is for me. I could kill this.
When just reading a script, it would be the story. Like if I can't put it down and I'm like, oh, like I gotta get to the end of this, like I'm just speed reading through it. Um, that would be what makes I have to do this. I have to do this project.
Wow. How many now have you ever turned down something when you read like, yeah, this isn't for me. I'm okay. Yeah, I'm not. Nah, I can't. That's not for me.
I have. I really hate to I've gotten a few auditions before and I've read the script and I was like, I don't know if I'm willing to do what this character is doing on the screen right now, if you catch my drift.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna audition anyway because that cast director might see me and be like, hey, she's good. So even if they, if I don't book it, or if I choose not to go with that project, they'll still know me and know my level of skill. So
That's good.
go to a few, but I'm very hard pressed to not take an audition. If that makes sense.
Wow. Good deal. Good deal. What is next? And have life changed for you in the business now? Like, is it easier? Has more doors open? Phone ringing? Agent calling a little more since your show BMF picked up for a third season. Am I correct?
Yep, yep, yep.
Third season. So it's like, man, I'm gonna tell directors, writers, producers, you better call right now. You better get there after this third season. She's out of here. Meech, Da Vinci. I mean, everything 50 Touch takes off. So it's only a matter of time until you're throwing that Oscar party. Believe it.
Hey. um y- um I I kind of choose not to pay attention to that because I don't want to let up at all. You know, we talked about discipline and hard work, and those things are still very much important. Those things are still big because I mean, you know, you've heard of actors or you've seen actors where you're like, wow, they were so good in this, and then you never hear from them again. Like, I don't want that. So, you know, hard work is still very much a part of the equation. So I try not to even pay attention to all of the like great jobs and from people that I don't really know, because it's like, thank you, and I really do appreciate it, but there's more to be done,
Yeah,
and be
there's
looking
work to be done.
for
There's work to be done. Okay, Laila, rapid fire before I get it. Favorite food?
nachos.
Nachos
I
with
got that.
nacho, chili cheese, and jalapenos, or just chips and cheese?
I'm talking about authentic Mexican nachos.
Oh, I'm
Like,
sorry.
I'm talking about refried beans and guacamole and queso and pico de gallo and all that. I want all of that on my nachos.
Okay, I thought you were just at Snellville High watching the football team get beat down, and you had some nachos. Too
Uh-uh.
far? Too far?
How dare? First of all, pie does not exist, and hopefully will never exist. And
When
then
that hot, you something. You know where I was going. Wherever guy Lou Williams with lemon pepper Lou, where he go?
Snellville, Georgia. But yeah, no, I love me a good nachos, and this is a hot take, but I like the soggy chips. I like when the chips get soggy because they're more flavorful, because the cheese and the bean juice, it like soaks into the tortilla of it all. You're like, dang, you gotta get a fork and be like, right, scrape it off the bottom. That is the best feeling.
Yeah.
My God,
Okay, so you like them. You like the leftover nachos, basically. You like get them, eat,
I sure
take
do.
them to go.
Over, I do.
Good deal. Good deal. Laila Pruitt, ladies and gentlemen, on the Quantel Lindsey podcast, we talked about everything from her starting role, her discipline, her parents, her vision, her dream, her school, her show. I mean, she is killing it out here. Laila, where can people find you on all social platforms?
You can find me on Instagram at Laila D Pruitt. And that is really it. That's really it. I had to delete TikTok.
Good deal.
That thing is addictive. So sorry.
Yeah, it's hard to stay disciplined. Hey, you're tuning into the Quantel Lindsey podcast with Laila Pruitt. Laila, we're going to have to bring you back and just check back in with you. We love you. Keep killing it and be blessed.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, bye.